If you have a man who you love dearly, he's your everything, he's so wonderful, but there's something that you need to tell him that you haven't told him yet because you're pretty sure it's going to make him mad, this is for you. And if you don't know who I am, hi, my name's Diana Bando. I'm a licensed attorney. I'm a former divorce lawyer. I'm a nervous system expert on here called the Stress Whisperer. And what I love doing is helping people live their best lives. And a big piece of living your best life is who you share your life with. And in order for them to add to the quality of your life, you need to have good relationship skills, which includes good communication and good conflict resolution skills. Because once you have that, it will dramatically decrease your stress level. So let's get into it. First of all, if you are in a relationship with a masculine energy man and you're wanting to tell him something that he doesn't want to hear, that you're like feeling like, oh my gosh, this is going to really start some shit once I tell him whatever I did or whatever I need him to do or whatever I want him to stop doing, what I want you to do is first have like a mindset shift and just assume that what he wants, the whole reason he's with you, is to be your hero. Just making that shift in your mindset will completely change the energy that you use when you have the conversation. And what a lot of women don't understand is that when they're having a conversation with their man, he is responding to your energy. So if you are coming into the conversation with the energy of, I know you want to please me, I know you want to make me happy, I know you want to be my king, my hero, my everything, he's going to have a completely different response to you, even if you're saying the same words, than he would if you came into the situation with the energy of, I've done something wrong, I know you're about to get mad, because that energy is going to make him like, okay, like clearly something's about to happen that's going to make me mad. Let me start getting mad before she starts talking. So first, shift your mindset. Second, regulate yourself. So one of the things I teach inside of my private sessions is how to detect when your stress response has been activated and then how to deactivate it at will. So if your stress response is activated when you're going into a conversation with your romantic partner about something that you are pretty sure he's not going to want to hear, when he starts to act up, which, you know, men are known to do when they don't like what they're being told, you are much more likely to be reactive and combative and see it as you versus him rather than you and him on one side and the behavior or the thing that you don't like on the other side. So ground yourself. There's a range of ways to do it depending on the state of your nervous system, your triggers, any repressed trauma. But the simplest thing that you can do to kind of instantly regulate yourself is use your breath. Like literally just inhale deeply and exhale deeply, slowly. And you want to keep going until you notice that your heart rate is stable and that there's no tension in your muscles, specifically in your jaw, in your belly, in your shoulders. You want to make sure that you feel relaxed. So how long does that take? I don't know. It depends on how amped up you were when you get started, but you should be able to fully relax and deactivate your stress response in under 60 seconds if you're breathing deeply. Next, when you get into the conversation, start by providing feminine context. And what I mean by that is masculine men respond very powerfully to emotion, and they respond more reactively to logic. So if you go into the altercation talking about like why it makes more sense to do it your way or how you've thought through it, and you know, this is more logical, this is more rational, you're gonna get engaged in head-to-head combat with the masculine, where he's going to argue with you. Whereas if you go into the situation talking about how the current state of affairs makes you feel. So maybe the conversation is you want to be able to spend more than, you know, you guys have agreed. Your budget needs more flexibility, or maybe you need more time for yourself, or maybe you need whatever it is that you're wanting more of or less of, or that you're wanting to be different. Talk about the emotions that you're experiencing in the current dynamic, because that is going to activate the part of him that wants to kind of rise to the occasion, be that hero, be that knight in shining armor that like slays the dragon for you. And that does not get activated from logic alone. It just gets activated with emotion. So provide feminine context for how the thing is making you feel right now. And then start talking about what you love about him, what he does right for you, what you're appreciative, all the ways that he's your hero. talk about that. Really fill up his emotional tank with compliments, sincere ones, so he knows that you're not just like BSing. But if you're in a relationship with someone, there should be some things that you like, right? So if there's not, that's a whole different conversation. But talk about the things that you like. So talk about how you're feeling, talk about all the things that you like, that you're grateful for, and then go into the ask. So one more time, we start by making sure our nervous system is regulated and that we're calm and grounded. And I'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. We provide feminine context for the way that we are feeling as a result of the situation and the behavior that we don't like. Talk about all the ways he's great, so that you're providing assurance that I'm not threatening you, I'm not threatening the relationship. I'm just saying, like, these are the things that if we could go from A to B, I'd be so much happier. And then talk about the thing that you're upset about, that you want him to change. You will get a completely different reaction than if you just come in hot saying, I'm so sick of you leaving the socks on the floor, or, never putting your stuff in the dishwasher after I've emptied out the sink, or whatever it is. There's so many, when you love a man, there's so many things it could be. So that is the way to do it. And like I said, regulating your nervous system, being grounded, that's something I teach inside of one-on-one sessions. But the big thing that you need to know is that your stress response gets activated anytime your body senses danger. And that danger can be physical danger, but it can also be emotional danger, reputational danger. So in the context of, a romantic relationship, it could be like, oh my gosh, they're going to be mad at me, and then maybe we'll break up, or they're going to be mad at me, and then maybe things would have been better if I never said anything at all. It's fear, loss of love. Like, these things can activate that stress response. And so what you want to do is deactivate that and remain calm and grounded, so that you can go through your relationships from a place of integrity and honesty, and talking about when something doesn't work for you, so that your partner has the opportunity to step up and change it. And also so that if they don't, that you told them, and now you can make a calculated, informed decision about whether to stay or go, that's based on the conversation you actually had, as opposed to the one that you avoided. So I hope this was really helpful. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or feel free to send me a DM. And if you'd like to book a one-on-one session so that you can know how to calm and ground yourself, or so that we can talk through a specific romantic situation that you're having, happy to do that. Just slide in the DMs and I'll send you the link to my calendar. That's all for now. Bye.